think they all have their own little stories, and I come here and I walk in the garage and I spend time just looking at them and admiring them.
Welcome to another special episode of Garages of the Rich and Famous, and in this episode we take you to a hidden gem in Mumbai city which even I didn't know existed until now. This is the garage of Pratapsinh Gaekwad, the Baroda Royal Family member. He's an avid collector of classics, and this garage has some beautiful, rare gems in it. Let's chat with him and find out. Hi Pratap, thank you so much for letting us share this beautiful little hidden gem in Mumbai. I would never have known and seen these cars here unless you shared them with us. And always great to have another car buff on the show. So walk us around this wonderful garage of yours.
Okay, Renuka, so the first car that we have here is my 2018 Porsche Panamera Turbo. Now, what makes this car special is obviously it's a Porsche Turbo, but this is the executive version.
Okay.
So she has a very long wheelbase, and the rear seats, you get great legroom.
Okay.
So very comfortable and with a lot of performance.
So a sports car that actually your wife won't mind you having because there's a back seat that's enjoyable.
That's true. She does love this car.
She does?
She does. So this, again, very special. This is my sleeper car, as they call it, because this is a
wolf in sheep's clothing.
Absolutely. I mean, gorgeous engine.
Yeah.
This is a 2008 S65 AMG.
Okay.
So over 600 brake horsepower, V12, and apparently the same engine as a Zonda, which was then tuned for the Zonda. So great car, performance, luxury.
You drive it a lot?
Yeah, I do actually, and I in fact love driving this car. And just to give you an example, when this car was first for sale, I wasn't really that keen on it, and then someone was like, why don't you just go for a drive?
Okay.
And the minute I drove her, I was just hooked.
This is a very special car. This is the only one of its kind in India.
Correct. Very, very special.
And there's very few of them in the world as well.
Yeah. So this was a limited run car. They made approximately 1,200 of them. What's again interesting is this one is serial number 999.
Oh, wow.
So that also makes it very special. 1,200, 999, only one in India. And again, there's a very special story as to how she sort of was imported into the country, because this was not a version that Fiat was selling in India. So the first owner, who was a very dear friend of mine, he had to sort of pull rank and speak to the chairman in Ferrari in their office in order to get this car allocated to him. So it has a great backstory as well.
Where does this passion of cars always come from? Like when you were really, really young? Were you always around them? Or was there like a certain age where you suddenly started realizing, I love cars and I need to have a lot of them?
Right. No, it happened from when I was very young, and it was really because my father loved cars. So, we always had cars coming in and going out. And so he was, I think, the person who sort of instilled the car craziness in me.
Yeah. And did you have a favorite as a child? Like, I mean, we all have those posters on our wall and think, okay, one day I'm going to own one of these. Yeah. What was your favorite?
Mine was always the Lamborghini Countach.
Oh,
that was always my favorite.
And you own one yet?
I did. I did. Yeah.
And then you let it go?
I did. I mean, it was a long time ago. But I had some special memories with it. This is like my daily driver. This is a Mulsanne, discontinued, but so nice to drive. V8, but pure luxury, and really, I really enjoy driving her.
Yeah, and especially when you have the kind of roads that we have in these cars, just manage to make you feel like you're floating over them any which way in the back seat. You don't know what's going on under the wheels.
Right, very true.
So So another special baby, a Mustang.
So this is a 1971 Mach 1. I mean, she's gorgeous, V8 engine, drives very well. What makes her special is the color.
That bonnet. When you drive in Mumbai,
Yeah.
the length of it.
You definitely do feel the length of it.
Yeah.
She's a big car.
Yeah, she is a really big car. I think, and the fact that most of the length is ahead of you rather than behind you.
Correct.
Really makes you feel like, oh God, I'm driving something massive, especially when we have our kind of conditions over here.
Yeah.
How often do you take all your cars out and drive them? Do they all get a rotation, or do you have like a particular favorite?
No, they all get a rotation. So I'm very particular about making sure that they're used. So I have a morning routine. So every morning at about 6:30 in the morning, I go for a drive and I try to do minimum 2 cars, if I can 3.
Oh, amazing. So every morning, these cars,
Yes, almost every morning.
of course, 2 or 3 of them are driven.
Yeah,
almost
frequently, very frequently, I would say. So my 911 GT3 RS, I mean, just looking at her, special to drive, the sound, everything special.
Yeah.
The interesting part about this car is obviously the paint.
Yeah.
So this is a crayon color.
Yeah.
This is a 1971 FJ40.
It's also a very rare car.
It is a rare car, it's an iconic car, and something that's becoming very popular globally as well.
Exactly.
There are new companies, they're doing resto mods, etc. So the shape is, I mean, you just look at the shape, she's stunning. So this is a 2011, and this was a 40th gift to myself. I was always fascinated with James Bond, so I always wanted to have a Bond car once. And so this was my Bond bucket list moment when I...
And have you had a Bond moment with this car?
I'm not sure I've had a Bond moment, but yeah, I mean, maybe when I've been driving around on my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of your cars are classics, so you collect a lot more classics than vintage.
Yes, so I'm not a fan of vintage cars, because for me, driving pleasure is more important, and I've driven a few vintages and I honestly haven't enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I pick cars that I enjoy to drive.
I see one more beauty right outside, and we cannot not talk about this one.
Yeah.
Now, as you said, a lot of people think that this is also an old classic, but it isn't.
It isn't. It's a 2021 model. It only got some 1,000-odd kilometers on her. But very, very special, because this is the iconic 79 series. She's got a 4-liter V8 diesel with a manual. This is the Datsun 280Z. And when a car like this comes into the market, you don't even have to think about it. You have to just rush.
Absolutely.
And I was lucky that I could make a quick decision and beat many others to it.
Yeah. Despite the way it was structured and the weight balance, the way this car handled was just quite something. An interesting car to drive.
Yeah. It's a 1994 model. She's done 2,60,000-70,000 kilometers. So she's really, run in.
Yeah.
And if you start her, she starts up every morning with one shot of the key. This is a very special car. I mean, the history behind this car, manufactured in 2008.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a limited production of 550. But due to the recession in 2008, they were only able to sell 435.
Okay.
So they only manufactured 435 globally. Number 2, only 2 of these were imported into India. So, again, very special in the Indian market.
Yeah.
This is a 1987 Jeep Wrangler. Again, this one is special to me because I've again owned her for a very long time, since maybe the sort of 90s. She's been with me.
This version was special because of the squared off headlamps, and
Correct.
I think the slightly rounded rear, where normally everybody's used to seeing the Wranglers with very straight lines.
Correct. I really do believe that these are also genuinely good investments, because I'm seeing values going up.
Yeah.
My father, as much as he loved cars, he always believed in having one or two that you drive and you enjoy, and then you sell them and you move to the next one.
It's been great chatting with you. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and we hope to take you on the track with that Porsche with us very soon.
Done. Absolute pleasure, and thank you for having me
Thank
on
you.
this. Thank you.